So my racing inspiration is Michael Schumacher. I was a huge fan of him growing up, and my interest in motorsport sort of stemmed from my grandfather who used to go and watch some Formula One races. So I got into watching the motorsport through that way, and my parents would turn on the TV and I'd shut up basically, stop crying, stop whining, stop moaning. I'd be fixated on the TV.
My greatest inspiration has always been my dad. He has been racing in motorsports of any kind for all his life. Hopefully someday I'll race with him in GTs or in prototypes or anything it is.
My biggest inspiration to become a driver must have been my dad and both of my parents, to be honest. I started when I was 3 years old, so obviously they have had a huge impact on my career.
My racing inspiration is Ayrton Senna, but who inspires me to start in motorsport was my family.
It's really difficult to say who was my racing inspiration because it was something that I just stumbled upon as a kid when I was small, kart track in the distance, and I begged my dad to let me have a go. So I guess I had a passion for once I knew what it was.
My dad used to do some track days at some local tracks near us, and I would go to some of his events with my mom, and eventually I started getting bored and figured, well, I can do this better than he can, so let me have a go. And so my parents researched, found out about go-karting, and that's how I got started.
I would say my racing inspiration is probably Lewis Hamilton, although I probably didn't sort of know about him, or I wasn't inspired to get into the sport because of him, but since I've been in the sport, I think everything that he's achieved and how he goes about his racing career and everything that he's done, I think from my side, is something that of course I want to emulate and inspire to be like.
My racing inspiration was initially my dad. So he initially bought my big brother Raphael a go-kart, and they kind of like dragged me with it. And when I did my first couple of laps, I just opened a visor and told my dad, "Dad, I want to be a professional racing driver."